And I just want to say, Thea is also a string player, so we have lots of switch hitters here. And we're so grateful for the moms like Melinda who help play piano. There's a lot of us who play piano, but we realize we can't be teaching and we can't be in two places at once. So we really appreciate having extra help. And where's Lance? I don't see him. There you are. Giggling in the audience, and that's because it is performance practice, historical performance practice, to add ornaments, like literally like Christmas tree ornaments, to the original notes. And I can't stop Lance from improvising, so he added quite a few things there, which is historically accurate and wonderful that he do that. Even his mom added some extra chords and changed some chords at the end there, which was really made me smile from minor to major. So totally appropriate. And Cam is another person that I have to hold back from improvising, and which is a wonderful thing. This is why we're here. And he's going to do the third movement of the same piece, Concerto in A minor by Vivaldi, with Melinda. Thank you, Cam. inaccurate iPad malfunction, as Liam and many people know. How many of you have an iPad with a foot pedal to turn pages? One time my son was playing in a church service and he's like, Mom, the page isn't turning. Sometimes it happens. Is that what happens?
Yes.
I was playing.
It went backwards instead of forward.
When I was playing.
Cam and Melinda, do you want to do it again, or you good? Cam, do you want to do it again? There's time. You good? You both did awesome improvising through the iPad glitch, so thank you so
Sorry
much.
about that.
When I was playing Wicked with the orchestra earlier, you're supposed to scroll up and down in Google, right? So I scrolled to the right. Suddenly I'm on Holt's Jupiter. I'm like, wait, what? Okay. So while you're trying to play the piano, that's why iPads are scary.
They're really great for the really big scores where you have to turn a bunch of pages, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like that. I was like, why did it go backwards?
It happened. We are moving on to the college, probably should be paid and is paid people to play. So Jackson, of course, is playing Animenz, right? How do you say his name?
I don't know.
Okay. And of course, he's playing anime music, which shows that he never watches, which I always think is hilarious. But this is called There Is a Reason, and the anime show is No Game, No Life, Zero, and this is the theme song from it. This original music is by Kanomi Suzuki, and the piano arrangement is by Animenz, and that's the only thing Jackson has played piano arrangements by this person for the last 3 years. All he plays is the arrangement, so I'm going to take the music stand and we'll give a round of applause to Jackson.
This is not the same Suzuki. Suzuki was 1 and 2 of the violin.
This is definitely
Different
not that.
Suzuki.
one size does not fit all for piano, so Jackson's leg from here to there does not really technically fit under a piano. This started happening in high school. Even with the piano on wheels, right? So he has to kind of turn his leg at this diagonal angle and play with his foot because it just doesn't fit under there. And two, he learned that on a keyboard in his dorm room at Cal because he's not a music major. And so it was like trying to play that on a keyboard in a dorm room, if you can imagine that. So great job. Great job.
I would never have that problem.
Yeah, the leg.
Yes?
I know he's like, I can't really fit my leg. What to do about that?
I think my son Liam is very jealous. If he realized what a gorgeous instrument this was, he would be playing a piano piece for you right now. He is going into his second year at Oberlin, where he has chosen too many majors that include, and minors include viola, piano, German, and Baroque violin.
I'm going to be majoring in viola with a minor in piano, Baroque violin, German, and maybe conducting.
So many things, and I can't blame him because everyone in our family had too many majors and still does. But what I wanted to say, we were talking about historical performance practice earlier with Cam and Lance playing a Baroque piece by Vivaldi with ornaments and that kind of thing. And so Liam, if you take a look at his bow when he comes over here, he's not using a modern bow. In fact, I need someone with a bow out. Cam, can you give me your modern bow? Someone give me a modern bow. Come on up here, Lance. So, for the modern instruments, this is called a tort bow, and notice how it's sort of boxy at the top. Don't drop it. In fact, sorry. In fact, I told Lance, please get a carbon fiber bow, not a wooden bow, because of this, because both of us have dropped bows. So it's okay, we won't drop this bow. So anyway, it's a little bit more boxy on the end and a much heavier frog. And so this is what happened in the turn of the century into the 19th century and 20th centuries. They got stronger, heavier bows because they had bigger hulls. And they transitioned from gut strings to wire strings, which is those of you that play violin and viola have wire strings. But this also, you can see, I will not drop this one. Also, the boxy end versus the pointed end. Can you guys see that? Hold it up higher. So, thank you. And so this creates a stronger sound so they can make a strong bow, down bow, and a strong up bow. But the Baroque bow was not designed to do that. It was designed to be heavy on the down and light on the up. So vive la différence. Oh no, Nancy, see why I told you to get... It's okay. Carbon fiber bows are wonderful. I love them. So anyway, strong on the down and weak on the up. And they literally said vive la différence. So we're trying to make this sort of nice contrast. And I don't know if you're going to ornament or not, but it's, again, totally historically performance practice to ornament in the music of Bach. This is meant to be solo. There's no piano accompaniment. There were no pianos at this time. Who knows what the keyboards were called in the time of Bach and Vivaldi? Not pianos. Harpsichords, that's right. Similar as a piano, but instead of having big wire strings that a cast iron body has to hold, they're just little tiny thin strings, much like a guitar. And they were plucked by goose quills. I am not kidding. Look this up. Little goose quills pluck the strings of a harpsichord. So they go out of tune. They're so lovely and light, but they go out of tune. So anyway, Liam is going to show you what the true performance practice, somewhat of what we think it might be on a solo viola. However, this was not written for viola. It was written for?
Cello.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want me to talk about more about the piece?
Sure.
Okay. A few words. This is a prelude from the 5th cello suite. These are all suites for cello alone. And this one is different from the rest of them because instead of being in the normal tuning of A, D, G, and C, it's C, D, G, and G again. So it makes it a lot harder to memorize. We'll see how I do. And what else? It's a prelude, which is for this one, it's a French overture, which means that it's like in the French style, and then it's a fugue after, which is what Bach is famous for, which means that it's like a bunch of different voices all trying to be conveyed with one instrument. All right.
satisfying to see the trajectory and growth, and I hope you too are seeing it with other students that, are your own kids, to watch each recital as you go on. One of my students earlier today, one of the new ones who's playing cello and piano and is in the orchestra and playing multiple instruments and is like a musician, capital letters, exclamation point, said, when does the recital start today? I told him 7 minutes, and he said, and when is the next recital? So, yeah, the next recital won't be until October, but we do have lessons and classes all through the summer, including our orchestra. Our orchestra and jazz band and symphonic band are all levels, all ages, so please spread the word for anyone who wants to join on Saturdays on any instrument, okay? And bless you all. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for joining us for this day of music.
If you're traveling, we do drop-ins for the summer, so don't write us off your list if you want to travel. Please join us anyway. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay.
And for your extra help with the cleanup, if there is any.
Yes, let's do one more round of applause for all the musicians. I think we have very simple cleanup, which is 4 people rolling the piano back up with maybe Rob as the boss of that, okay? And then maybe some cleanup downstairs and making sure, the big thing is making sure that you gather all of your things so that I don't have to call anybody and return items that were left here. So one of the biggest things you could do is just take your own things, okay? Thank you very much, everybody.